Yo, what's up everybody and welcome to another Dragon Ball Project multi video. And in this video, what I decided to focus on was settings. I've actually been getting some people comment about like, do you have any crash issues? Like what are your settings on your computer or what do you use it for when you're playing on PC? So this isn't going to account for mobile, but I figured I would just go over just through some of the options here and go through some of the settings. It kind of just give you an idea of like maybe what you'd want to be going for, depending on maybe the kind of computer you have, what you probably should opt for instead of like, maybe maxing everything out. So let's go ahead and just jump into this. I'm not going to go into like stuff like, there's no point in going into like a privacy general, like audio. It's pretty self-explanatory. That's music. I have mine set to 50, as you can see with master, and then music download, just because I want to be able to focus on hearing more of like the actual game itself, especially because I'm wearing these headphones. And so a lot of things are just like so much more louder. But I mean, that's like, it's like, dumbest thing to worry too much about. I mean, to be fair, I guess if you really do want to focus, you should put this up much higher, right? But for the sake for me, I don't know why I just like to keep it at like 50. And music, I like to keep low. I like to be able to hear the voices of other characters. I'm a big sound effects guy. I want to be able to hear that, the battle announcements. I mean, I just keep that up. But when it comes to video, though, this is the settings that I go for. Now, keep in mind, my PC will be different, so it's going to have, I can actually run a lot of what I have on. And so, obviously, you're not going to want to do that, if you don't have a strong PC. So, you can either do, let's say, screen mode, borderless, or window. I just do borderless because I have two monitors. If you have a single monitor, I probably would recommend you having window just in case you have to make it smaller or just want to be able to adjust the size and whatnot. Resolution, that's a pretty obvious one, right? I have a 4K support for my PC, so if you don't have 4K, you probably can't even go up to that. But I mean, obviously, put a resolution that's best for you. I think pretty standard, right? 1080p, 1920, 1080p. That's a pretty good one. If you're lucky enough to do the 1440, you should opt for that too. It's always like the better between, having slightly over 1080, but like right underneath that 4K. Brightness is brightness. Screen shake, I'm not sure if people would want this on. I mean, I kind of have it on. I'm a weirdo like that, but most people like turn stuff like that off just because like it gets in the way of like when they're playing it. Like too much of the screen shaking, it's too what do you call that? Like it just helps you like lose focus and you kind of like get out of it. Let me see. The emphasis islands, they keep this on as well. I like to be able to tell like where I'm at versus like where my allies are at, but to make sure I'm not confusing it with other team or with the other team and whatnot. So I keep that stuff on. Certain stuff I had not even like messed with, like enhanced color clarity. I guess if you want to turn it on to help like for being able to tell other players and stuff like that, I guess it just helps more with the color. Your team's color, you could change the color used for your team, which is stuff like that. Like I've never messed with your allies team color, enemies team color. I wouldn't even mess too much with that stuff. I mean, enemies team color should be red. Our team color can be blue. It says allied team's color, I guess, or they're blue, or I guess or green. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Stuff like this is already a bit confusing. I don't worry too much about this. I would just stick to default. But I mean, if you need a certain color that helps it better for you, I mean, the fact that the game has it as an option, hey, that's not like that there's no issue there. That's a good thing. Graphics, same thing here. A lot of this is going to be dependent on what your actual specs are. And so, I mean, I don't use, I mean, I can do 120 fine. I actually could do 144 fine. But if you notice that when your game is playing, it's crashing and maybe it's just like, like I mean, the most important thing is that if you notice like it's crashing or a lot of stuttering, a lot of lag and stuff like that, maybe you need to drop in frame rate if you have it at like 120. But I feel like, I have a PC setup, so 120 I can do. But I mean, 60 might be the hot spot. I feel like for most that don't have anything crazy, maybe they're just using a laptop or something like that. Use 60 in that case. VSync, if your monitor and your computer kind of has like that setting for it, turn it on. If not, turn it off. I keep mine on because I can actually do it. Another good thing to notice too is that like it actually explains it on the right hand side here. Like if the display looks corrupted, right, turn this on may fix the problem. Like you might use VSync if you're seeing like I feel like screen tearing and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not too sure what grid display is, but it probably just helps maybe in terms of like alignment and how you're seeing things. I don't see the issue with keeping something like this on, but I mean, if you're noticing you're having some type of input delay, you're noticing some type of lag or whatever, start turning some of these things either down, like the frame rate, or like the VSync off. You might not need that, and stuff like this too. Especially when it comes to graphics, graphics is probably the main thing that's gonna cause like performance issues. The game just won't open. The game might just close. Start turning these down. Again, keep in mind, my setup, I can afford to do all these things. But for most people, hey, you want the best performance out of your build, go low, right? Don't go high. Don't go the highest. Go low. And if you can afford to do medium, maybe try medium. But there's nothing wrong with just going straight up low. That way you just get the best performance that, that you'd want to get. And some of these more advanced stuff, right? A lot of this is like, again, if your computer can run it. If not, I'm telling you, turn it off. If you don't need it, turn it off. Motion blur, turn that off. I have it on because, again, I'm a sicko and I just keep that stuff on. But I mean, you could probably turn that off. Anti-aliasing, smooth borders and whatnot. I mean, again, if you can do all these things, if not, man, turn it off. But also play around with it. I think the most important thing you do is play around with what you kind of have. So if you notice that, like, I could turn this off and I can still play the game fine, turn it off. I think that's the biggest thing, is just turn things off you don't need. Like, stuff like this, like it's just automatically off because it's probably like, yo, you just don't need this. But like, hey, you can turn it on, but like, just turn it off, Some of the stuff, like, I don't even know. What is this? Like, light up bloom effects? No idea. Screen space reflection? No. Again, turn it off. Like, if you can turn this stuff off and still play the game and it's fine, I say you just do that, because I know some people are having problems being able to even like play the game. Like, you'll play the game and it'll just close out, right? It'll just shut down. So start turning on like certain stuff, like these advanced stuff. I feel like a lot of these advanced things you probably don't need on, right, for the most part. And play around with it. Like, if you realize that you might need some anti-aliasing, maybe try one of the other options, right? Instead of having on like I have it on TAA, it looks like, you can probably try FXAA, and you can read here too, like exactly like what it'll smooth out, what it'll do. Motion blur, for the most part, that's like you don't even need this for like most games. And then there's stuff like this, like bloom. Like, I don't even know what that is, but I have it on high, but probably I can have it on low, or probably off for the most part. Again, the idea is to be able to play the game, and you want to be able to like play it in the best performance. Battle, this is more like UI stuff. Controller, right? I mean, if you need to have like speed in terms of like just for how things are going, like sensitivity stuff, like you can mess with these settings here. I don't mess with the controller stuff too much because I think it works perfectly fine when I plug in my controller. I don't have any issues. But obviously you can mess with a lot of these different settings here if you want to get like, whatever you want to focus on, whether that is speed or whether that is like some type of assist or anything like that, right? That's what you can mess with this stuff with. But like I said, for the most part, I don't touch that stuff. And mouse and keyboard, I'm the same thing. I don't generally touch too much controls unless it's like changing up hotkeys and whatnot, right? Like key assignments. This is a big one, obviously, right? If you're playing on PC, change it up. If you don't want to use any of these settings, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I had to get used to doing shift and click and shift and right click. That just to me was a weird thing. So like, I could see, I mean, I could understand anybody who wants to switch this to like R for something, or 1 or 2 or something like that. But if I were you, if you are playing on PC and you do have to try to get a feel for like what's the best like key binds and whatnot, like get a feel. I mean, if shift and click is weird for you, I mean, if you're on a laptop, that might not even be the best thing, right? It might be better if you just put in like click this, put in T or something, right? Like you can do that, right? Put this, maybe you want to put a number key 5 or even number keypad thing. Like, I would go ahead and switch these to, something like that if it's much easier. If you could do skill 1, 2, 3 and you have a number keypad, just put 1, 2, 3, 4, stuff like that. It'll make it much easier for when you're playing this game, because it is a lot of like activating skills and whatnot. But yeah, for the most part, this is a pretty standard, simple video just to kind of go over like some stuff here. For nothing too crazy. Like, I'm not the most like smartest person for stuff like this, but I mean, I'm gonna give you an idea of like what I'm using, and I'm hoping this will help you guys out. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, and that's another thing too, like if I'm not able to answer it in this video here, drop it down below in the comment section. I'll be able to help you out and answer some of those questions there, because there's some things here like I might not even know too much about, like some of the graphic stuff here. I've never heard of Bloom. I've never seen that before. So again, my word of advice, drop settings down to low, see if that works, and anything that's advanced that you don't need, turn it off. That's my opinion, at least. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, drop them below in the comment section. Yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Lethal1Up. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.